Now that I showed you how to run a quick view and also some of the toolbar options you have, let's look at some of the other ways you can see data. So by default, if you look at the drop down on the right, it's going to say student scores. In the student scores tab, it's going to give you the raw score, the percent score, whether or not they met satisfactory, whether or not they got committed in advance, the date they took the test. Now if you click down, you get the student objective breakdown. Now what you're going to notice was difference here is now you're going to have the reporting categories that were on the test. And if you hover over a reporting category like I did with M1 here, it's going to tell you what that reporting category is. And underneath each reporting category, it's going to tell you the percentage that student got on that reporting category. You're also going to get your met satisfactory and your committed in advanced on this tab. Student learning standard breakdown. Now this is going to give you every single TEAC objective that was tested on the test in the same way you're going to go over it, and it's going to tell you what it is. We have an S for supporting and an R for readiness. Once again, across we would start from the student name and then we would just go all the way across to see how the student did on each individual section. You get to the end, you get the same raw score, percent score, the met satisfactory, as well as commended in advance. And the last thing you can look at is the student individual responses. Now what this will do is we'll give you the TEACs, it'll give you the reporting categories, or the learning standards, and it'll also give you the individual answers that student picked. If there's a plus next to it and it's not red, it means they got that answer correct. If it's in red, that means they got the answer incorrect. So let's talk a little bit about sorting. So I came back to my student scores. And what you can do for sorting is all of these headers are clickable. And what it'll do is it'll sort the data based on that click. So for instance, if I hit met satisfactory, if I had any no's, they would go up at top. And see, if I hit committed in advanced, my no's are going to go on top and my yeses are going to go on the bottom. All of the information that that student has, the student name, the local ID, their scores, all of that stuff's going to follow once you do that click. If you want to know a little bit more about a student, for instance this first student here, if I click on them, it's going to go blue, and then I'm going to be taken to this tab here. This is the individual students tab. So the very first thing you can do if you want is you can click print, and what it'll do is it'll bring it into a printable PDF of just this test right here. Now notice it's only showing me the DBM Math Algebra 1, but if I wanted to see all the students' tests and click on show all test, now it'll give me the state test history, it'll give me the district benchmarks, and it'll give me the STAR test. And what I like about this is at the top, I'll get reading scores, math scores, writing scores, science scores, and social studies. Here, I get all the dates of all the state tests, and then you get the individual scores of how that student did on the state test since they've been taking tests in Harlandale. Now, next to the district benchmarks as well as the STAR test, you'll notice you have a little paper and pencil. If I clicked on that, it'll take me to the individual answers and scores of that student. On the side, we get our raw, our percent score, and whether or not they met advanced or if they didn't meet. Same thing with the STAR test. We'll go down even down to the tax test. So if I want to go back to an individual test, I can go ahead and click on that paper and pencil. Now it's going to take me to an individual test. And what I like about the individual test is this is the first time we actually know what that raw score is. So it says there was 20, they got 20 questions out of 30 right, which gives them a 67%. They met expectations. It shows you where that student falls in terms of the rest of the population on that campus. If we go underneath it, it breaks down all the testing reporting categories for us. And so this would be the student got 11 right out of 18, got a 3 out of 5, and 1 out of 1. And you'll notice that anything is red, that means that the student fell below getting half of those correct. And then if we go down a little bit further, we'll see the individual question responses. This looks very much like the individual student response. To get back out of here, we can go back and just click on the test that we were previously looking at, and then we'll go back to that data.